New Zealand think that their point of difference to any other team in the world is the ability of their tight five and the mobility, their handling skills. So we've got to be able to match that, and we've got a tight five that first of all got to be good at set piece in terms of scrums and line-outs, and they've got to be able to get around the field then, and they've got to have the ability to match the All Black tight five. And that's going to be a huge challenge for us because, like I said, with players like Retallick and Whitelock and Coles, they're that sort of real backbone in terms of their ball carrying ability outside the set piece, and that's what we're looking for from our tight five. We're looking for a tight five that, like I said, one they're going to be able to do the set pieces very, very well, and it's going to be such a competitive sort of part of the game, particularly down in New Zealand. But they've also got to be able to be mobile. Decision making isn't just about catching and passing and 2-on-1. The decision making is about, do you compete on the ball, do you compete on the ground, do you go and clean out a ruck, is already enough numbers there so that you stay alive for the next phase? Is there an opportunity for you to create a turnover by competing and not over-committing to a breakdown so that you create one less in the defensive line? So the real ability of the top players is making the right decisions, both on attack and defence, and that's what a big part of those loose forwards need to be able to do. There's no point working really hard and hitting lots of rucks and making lots of tackles, but actually not making the right decisions. And so, that's very much the key in terms of a nice balance of ball carriers, players who can compete, particularly on the ground with the Southern Hemisphere or New Zealand loose forwards, and that's going to be paramount as well. We can bring a physicality to the game as well.
The key, sort of from a half-back perspective, talking the nines, is about the communication, the organisation. There's a presence about as a nine, and ultimately the skill set. And whether you're talking about a 9 or 10, is kick, pass, run, the ability to run, the ability to pass, and the execution under pressure. And I think the championship showed that, in terms of the 9s and 10s, there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of talent. And when you go into New Zealand as well, you need experience. And they're the sort of ingredients that, a half-back for me is a navigator, controls the game, is the heartbeat as a 9. And then you've got the 10 who's able to navigate when obviously the 9 has decided otherwise. And I think that, they're the ingredients, and those players who have played in the championship have certainly been, if not in top form, that they've been on form, and that gives us a good challenge in selection.
The centres and the wings and the fullbacks, it's a difficult one again, because it's about combinations. It's about who can play a couple of different positions. How many centres do you need? Because a fullback can play in the centre, or a fullback can play on the wing, or a wing can play in the centre, etc. And I think that's the beauty of a Lions tour. You have got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to adjust on tour in the heat of the battle, and be at your best. But it can't just be about he's good at defence. It can't just be about he's good in attack. To be a Lion, I believe you've got to have the all-round game.
It's a pretty attritional position at the moment, particularly the midfield and back three, and we've felt we've got the ability to cover that. When you go into New Zealand in the middle of winter, you've got to have the potential to be able to deal with the weather conditions. And we've seen that in the past. Get some atrocious weather conditions in New Zealand potentially. So it's being able to play. We want to go and play some expansive, exciting rugby, but there are going to be times, we're going to be dictated by potentially the weather, and it's going to be a little bit tighter. So we've got to have the ability to play up front, and certainly some backs to get us across the advantage line when that's required. And then we feel like we've got some great footwork, some pace out wide, and players that can stress the All Blacks, and that's what we've got to be able to do.
Each meeting we've had, it's been very interactive. Every coach has the possibility to talk about every player, add their opinion to it. So it's great to be able to have that sharing of knowledge around them. I'm unbelievably excited. There's so much talent there. We saw that through the Six Nations with the competitiveness of the games, the way that each team played. I think that you see just how much talent there is in the group, and that's what made selection so brilliantly challenging, because there were so many players putting their hands up for it.